Hello, Brian the Fanboy here, and today I'm gonna review the second season of Power Rangers Beast Morphers while comparing it to Tokumei Sentai Go-Busta. Now, the thing you should know is that the entire second season of Beast Morphers has already aired in the UK, but in the US, only 8 episodes have aired, and they still determine when the rest of the episodes will air in America. Now, well, one difference from second season of Beast Morphers and Co-Passes is that, well, you see, during that second, at the start of the second half of Go-Busta, well, they changed the theme song, or at least, the opening, at least the opening theme, that is. But in Beast Morphers, they kept the theme song from last year. Yeah. Now, how the season starts? Well, Coral Harbor and planet Earth has been at peace for a while since Evax has been defeated, and none of his forces have been seen for a while. And let's see, well, things between Devon and the real place are fine now since no longer in a coma, and the evil place is gone, and also the real place, well, he has become a better person than since the end of the last season. Now let's see what else. Oh yes, Ravi and the real Roxy. Well, they're dating now, and since Roxy is not a ranger, then the whole didn't have to worry about the rangers can take rangers rules from Great Battle Force. Now let's see. Oh yes, Nate and Zoe, they were training, and well, during the first episode of season two, well, what happened was that well, Steele has come up with some conspiracy theories that Eva is still around, and he's been using famous pictures of what's supposed to be evidence of those famous monsters like Bigfoot and so on. And then, and well, at first Sarvation didn't believe him, but eventually it turned out that Skrulls was still around, and by the next episode, he brought Evox back. And not only that, Evox has a new body. And not just any new body, but well, Evox has the ability to transform into a human body as well. We shall get onto it later in the video. Now, let's see. The other thing is what else happened. The other things are important details for this review. And oh yes, that has to do with each character. Where there was this episode where Robbie was making a mural, and then when he saw his mother coming around, he well lied to her saying that he was hitting somebody who was doing that because he still remember what his mother said about art being like a waste of time. But eventually, by the end of that episode, he told his mother the truth, and well, she wasn't happy that he lied about it, but she was also not happy because of her attitude, and now she supports her son's work, at least her son's art. And let's see. Oh yes, and there's an episode where well, Devin was in a video game competition, and by the end of that episode, it was revealed that Evox was actually sharing the body of with the mayor, and the Rangers won't discover that until a short episodes later. Let's see. Oh yes, there's also uh, oh yeah. Now there's this special episode called Fox, and then well, you see the Rangers were excited about the Bank Global games, and for fans who've been watching Power Rangers, since the beginning, they know that the Bank Global games are, this kind of like the Olympics, and that was what Kimberly was participating in, years ago. And I think they made that episode because, the Olympics was supposed to going on this was scheduled to go on this summer, but it had to be canceled because of what's going on in the world right now. Now, there's another episode where oh yes, well Steele found out that Nate and Roxy has Nate and oh yeah, forgot to mention yes around the second episode, well the evil versions of Blaze and Roxy have returned, only instead of being avatars, they are now robots. And not only that, every time they get destroyed, they always come back and this chamber that Skrulls will make. Now, let's see. Oh yes, like I said before, well, Nate and Zoe, well, still found out that Nate and Zoe have romantic feelings for each other, and he thinks that's great. But Zoe told Steele about the rules that Rangers cannot date Rangers, and Steele said that's a silly rule. But despite the feelings Nate and Zoe have for each other, they decide not to date because the rules. And through animation, to protect the mayor from evil forces, I can't remember what it was. Oh yes, still kind of a good idea of having them try to set them up, and eventually footage was found of Nate and Zoe being intimate with each other. And when Commander Shaw saw the footage, she wasn't very happy because she said they were breaking the rules. And then later in the episodes when all the Rangers had to fight a monster, well Commander Shaw saw something changed her mind. You see, what happened was that Nate got hurt, and Zoe was so much was so concerned for Nate that it gave her the motivation to be more stronger than she was, and well got the monster. And when committed, so what happened? Well, by the end of the episode, she told him that she realizes that the relationship between the two wasn't a weakness but a strength, and so she decided the whole Rain Chicken United Reach rule is now out. So now Nate and Zoe can now be a couple and still be Rangers. Now here's a comparison with Go-Busta. You see their counter you see Nate and Zoe's counterparts from Japan, well they weren't a couple because Makoto was uh, many years old and Joko she was 16, so they couldn't be a couple, due to the age difference. Of course, there were some hints of romance between Red and Yellow, in that series, but what's my fucking hobby here? Yes, so well, it wasn't that much because they were busy with their own adventures. But anyway, Once quickly after the rule was gone, the mayor has to leave, but the Rangers all follow him, and then discover that Mayor and Evox were sharing the same body. And by the next episode, they oh yes, they had to find a way of how to fix the problem. And then someone mentioned, of course, Dr. K from borrowing his RPM, and yeah, Devin he finally found a way to contact Dr. K to some kind of interdimensional message thing. Of course, Dr. K told him that but Dylan, who was the Black RPM Ranger, well, that his case was different than the mayor's. But then he mentioned that of another situation about the when he mentioned the thing between Cineweek and Doomwing, yeah, Power Rangers Dino Charge or Dino Supercharge, and well, they got these things to to dedicate something to help the mayor be free from Evok's influence. And they went to this I think storage room where they have a bunch of relics from past Ranger series, and you'll be surprised of all the well much of the stuff items they have there. Now yeah, then see trying to think what else happened. Oh yes, well they finally got these emitters, and the mayor and Evos are now two separate beings. So the mayor doesn't deal, with that creature anymore. I mean, deal with it, but don't know how to share the same body. And then, of course, they talk about, well, the mayor mentioned how it happened, and, well, somehow Evox, he got infected with Evox right after, what happened after season one, the end. Oh, now there's another episode let's talk about. Using Nate was looking, well, going over some kind of intergalactic transmission, and then well, an alien came, and to my surprise, the alien they saw first was of course Space Sheriff Gaban. And for any tokusatsu, for hardcore tokusatsu fans, Space Sheriff Gaban was the well, the hero in the first Metal Hero series, which eventually, of course, show was never adapted into American, but few of the series that came after were adapted into Savant's YouTubers and Big Bad Beetleborgs. Of course, and I think it's been a while since I saw, the team of episodes between Go-Busta and Speed Govern. Now, and I think his name was Captain Suzuka and Beast Morphers. I mean, at first I just thought he was evil, but turns out he was good, and he was a kind of color, so he can, communicate with everybody. And he was going after with this alien criminal who was been stealing relics of past major villains. Oh, and not only that, there was a scene where he brought back the putties from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and I don't know what they were. It was a food soldiers from Dino Charge. Yes, and I was surprised when I first saw that. Now, then came another episode, which was let's see. Oh yes, it was well, yeah. Well, what happened was that well, another alien spaceship crash, and then so we went to find out what it was, and the alien she saw was Keeper. Of course, she didn't know it was him because well, she only saw the back of his body, so she couldn't see the face. And because of and well, what she did, she put on this obedience collar, which the monster. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Yeah, I skipped an episode. Well, number one. Well, then well, oh yes, in the second episode with Space Sheriff Gavin or Captain Sasuka, well, it's revealed that well, he has a daughter, but he wouldn't let her see his face because well, when Nate found out about it, well, he took off his helmet and turns out that he went through some kind of cybertronic operation. But according to him, anybody who joins the organization he did, well, has to go through that. Anyway, in order to defeat this monster that he's been going after, well, he used this, I forget what it's called, but it was a kind of a blue dragon. And well, anybody who's seen Space Shuttle Goblin knows that that's the main mecha for the hero. Now, yes, back to the Keeper story. Yes, there was the obedience scholar she used, yeah, compliance scholar, yeah, that's what they called. And well, she only put it on him because, well, so she could have some questions, but unfortunately, the bad guys cut the keeper, and Eve accused him that all the secrets he knows. And yeah, oh, and the cool thing about that episode was that well, it brought back the Rangers from Power Rangers Dino Charge. At first they were made up of Koda and Sir Ivan, the thing of it, Chase and Tyler. Yeah. Shelby and Riley did come, but they were always in the suits. So I don't know what's the reason. I don't know why it was that, but anyway, yeah. So the Beast Morphers had teamed up with the Beast Morpher Rangers had teamed up with the Tunnel Charge Rangers, and this was an adaptation of the Japanese special Tokumei Sentai Go-Busta versus Yuden Sendai Kyoryuja. You see, the thing is that Kyoryuja what came after Go-Busta, and then when Super Force was over, I mean Super Mega Force was over, they decided to skip Go-Buster and this adapt Kyoryuja instead. Yeah, so that's kind of like a backwards thing they did, but anyway, it's a musical episode, and there was another episode that's supposed to take place, but it was also a special episode, a clip show, but not just any clip show. You see, this episode kind of portrayed the history of past Ranger villains. Yes, you see, Eva's and evil forces were thinking of bringing back uh, past Ranger villains, not all of them, but something happy here, yes, who they thought were right for the job. Now, the first one that one of the bad guys suggested was Gorak from Power Rangers Mystic Force, which was adapted from Mahu Sentai Majivenja. Yes, and and they saw footage of Gorak fighting the Mystic Force Rangers. However, they pointed out that Gorak was actually a good guy. He was just under the influence of an evil spell or something, and then joined the Forces of Good at the end of that series. The next villain, of course, what I guess was yes, Astronomer from Power Rangers in Space, which was the series which was adapted from Denji Sentai Mega Ranger, and they show all the stuff he did when fighting the Rangers. Of course, it was pointed out that Astronomer eventually became good. You see, they choose footage from the episode where they got let's see. Oh yes, where after Dark Spectre was destroyed and Astronomer became Garone, and not only that, she became the second Pink Galaxy Ranger. Now, the third villain they suggested to bring back was Lord Zed, who was supposed to be one of the most baddest villains in Power Rangers history. But he was so bad that well, he couldn't be trusted because they show footage of Lord Zed destroying King Mando and his family. Now, here's the thing about the footage they used. You see, yes, they used footage from all episodes, but for some reason, Lord Zed's voice didn't match the original footage. I mean, I don't know why they want to change, get someone else to voice Lord Zed instead of using the actual footage along with the original sound. Now, during the clip show, turns out that Evox been trying to get his minions to steal diamonds, and once the Ranger figured out, the well, for one thing, oh yes, forgot to mention, well, before the clip show, you see, one of the items that Russell stole was some kind of reanimation item, and he brought back the sledge from Banner Church as well as his crew. And during the clip show, Poisandra and Akira, I forgot what you call it in Banner Church, but they were going to steal the diamonds, but then they came back. But anyway, after making some of the suggestions during the clip show, Evox has decided which villain to bring back, and the one he chose was Goldar. And they showed footage of Goldar fighting, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Of course, just like what Lord said, the footage didn't match the original sound. But anyway, he used the reanimation machine and Goldar, well, not the original Goldar, but was a clone, just like all of the other villains that was brought back. And only that, he looks really different from the old Goldar. And also, he goes by Goldar Maximus, which means he was supposed to be more powerful than the original one. And then the next episode that's supposed to take place after that, well, once the Beast Morphers Rangers learned what happened, they decided to bring back Jason, the original American Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the red one, of course. And to do this, he had to raise the help as well. But also, what happened was that Keeper he had a vision of different teams of Rangers fighting, and he didn't say which one it was, but yeah, he's thinking back, and then when it comes time to fight, Jason brought back the four of the other original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, black, pink, blue, and yellow, and the three Dino Thunder Rangers, so red, blue, and yellow as well. So, oh yeah, and the Dino Charge Rangers came as well, and they team up. And so the Beast Morphers that team up with the three Ranger teams that were dinosaur teams, or at least the captains were. Uh, and it was an amazing episode. The only difference is that Jason, four of the original, four of the Dinosaur Rangers were the only best Rangers who were able to be staying in civilian form, while the rest were in costumes. And well, I understand why four of them, because one of them couldn't make it for different reasons each, and while the same for Time of Thunder as well. Now, after the team up, after the thing what else happened? Oh yes, there was this this episode I had to talk about, which is it's the one where Steel became human for a day, and yeah, because there was supposed to be some kind of there was some kind of accident which caused Steel and Nate to switch bodies, and Steel was having a fun time, being human because it's something he always wanted. And there's this scene which I had to mention, which kind of made me laugh. It was when Steel just kind of burst into a musical number, and everybody else joined along. And well, it was funny because this was something I was expect from Super Sentai, but not Power Rangers. I mean, I think they went when I first saw it, I was like, they went full Super Sentai with this episode. I mean, yes, Power Rangers did have some funny moments, but with Super Sentai, they go all aboard with it, or the way whatever you want to call it. Yes, which makes the Japanese version very entertaining. Now let's see, try to think about something that. Oh yes, now another episode where the evil versions of Blaze and Roxy, were being so competitive against each other that they had they started to do whatever it takes to beat the other. And then Roxy, she took DNA from a dinosaur fossil, which was discovered by Zoe's father. And see, yeah, yes, and no, not possibly, but the area where it was discovered, and she used that to go from her plant DNA to to turn someone of pterodactyl thing monster, and she became more powerful than she was, but eventually the Avengers destroyed her. So Evil Roxy is gone. But here's the thing: not only was Evil Roxy destroyed, but also the chamber that will reanimate her in Evil Blaze. So now that well, not what she was destroyed, but yeah. So now Blaze can, well, Blaze Roxy cannot come back now that that thing is gone. Now I think yeah, the episode that came after that, well, was the let's see. Oh yes. Well, what happened was that Blaze came in to tell he told the Rangers that oh, sorry, have it here. Yes. Well, he told the Rangers that he found something that was a part of the Evil Roxy to to help them, like yeah, a part of her. And while during the episode, Blaze was telling Devin about certain things, like since he's a leader, he's supposed to, be more tough. Well, eventually, they eventually capture Evox, but here's the thing: by the end of the episode, they got a message from Blaze who was in Japan, or at least the real Blaze, because he went there for a karate tournament. So the Blaze that which we were talking the whole time was the evil one, which explains what he was explains why he was acting like a jerk. So that means that Evox wanted to be captured. And then, well, it was revealed in the episode after that when something happened, and well, in the previous episode, Evox said that he had a dark past, and well, he told his story about how he came to be, and well, he talked about how when Nate was little, I mean, he was like a boy genius uh, since young age. Well, he was using Morph X with one of the old Ranger relics, and one of the relics he was using was one of the old RPM morphers. He also combined it with snake DNA, and well, and because of that, Evox was born. Well, something went wrong, and then Evox revealed that he was Banjax, the mastermind from Power Rangers RPM. So he found a way to travel from the RPM dimension to the Beast Morphers one, and and then Eva's or Benjix now left, and then Nate felt so guilty by what he done because well he knew that if well he said that if it weren't for him, then the Eva situation wouldn't have in the first place. And as much as everybody's trying, to tell him to not to blame himself for what happened, he couldn't do it. But so he had an idea, and so out of a portal came Dr. K, and he told her that he knew just how he felt. I mean, he knew how he felt because she herself, well, I mean, she was the one who created Vengeance in the first place, but it wasn't really that, for those who see RBM, that it wasn't entirely her fault because, well, she was cooped up alpha, in this place for alphabet soup for so long that once she realized that she was been lied to by her critics the whole time, she created a virus to destroy the organization, but since they wouldn't let her finish everything, it got released into her world, which caused a lot of the machines to take over. And Dr. K is willing to help Nate the situation with the situation, and well, yeah, they work together to to make sure what happened with the RPM dimension that they have been the same thing in the Beast Movers one, and eventually they found a way and were ready to defeat Evox. And well, Dr. K went back to her dimension, just to make sure everything's fine. And let's see. Oh yes, by the final episode, well, the Beast Movers were ready to fight Vengex in his new form. Of course, and what happened was that well, he found took over all the Morphex energy towers, but eventually, well, everything's going on. Well, the Rangers, well, they were all ready to fight, and well, they were offered the chance to a lot of the crew members and Great Battle Force were offered to leave. They want to be safe, but everybody decided to stay to do their part in fighting Benjix. Oh, and also in the last episode, Zoe revealed to her mother that she was a Yellow Ranger because you see, Zoe's mother was worried about her, and she let her know, so she'll be so worried. So now all the Rangers parents know about the roles and anyway let's see yes since everybody decided to stay and help out, everybody was ready to do the part and fighting Benjix. And then well, the game with the arrange well I forgot who it was. I think it was yeah because they realized that Benjix's weakness was human DNA because they couldn't handle the mayor. They just couldn't handle Shepherd with the mayor and let's see what else I forgot, but they kind of use all the Morphers to feed the Benchix. It was finally destroyed, and Coral Harbor as well as Earth was finally safe. And not only that, when Steel, well, you see, the first Steel was lost forever, but once Bench was defeated, it revealed that Steel finally became human because yeah, which is something he always wanted, and now he got to embrace it. I mean, well, he taken like a Pinocchio thing, like where he finally became a real boy. And this is the first time in Power Rangers where something like that happens. I mean, if you have seen Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, Max, the Red Ranger in that series, he became a real boy thanks to the Corona Aurora. Well, anyway, yes, and of course, finally the uh, Rich was defeated and Earth was safe once again, at least for now. And let's see, oh yes, uh, the show had an epilogue which supposedly plays 1 year after the victory. For one thing, Devin was promoted to commander, and let's see, oh yes, Ben and Betty, well, have been promoted. I mean, they were still the comedy relief during the entire season, but I think things for them kind of improved. And the colonel from RBM came here to let them know about that that Scott was sitting in his dementia for some time. Now, Ravi and his and, well, Commander Shah were doing some art, and Roxy was the real Roxy was to be the model. The Nate and Sophie were stuck with an interview about a new energy source for the world, and they're using natural resources that can help with the environment, don't want to do too much harm. Also, Steel, now as a human, became an actor, and Blaze became his stunt double, the real Blaze, of course. And he was summoned to go to Great Battle Force for something, and turns out that they had a surprise birthday party for him because it's been 1 year since he was human. And the song ended with a, I mean, the episode ended with a celebration having that "It's Great to Be Human" song being played. And of course, that's the end of the second season of Power Rangers Beast Morphers, as well as the Beast Morphers series as well. Oh, I'm here again. Yes. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that well, Go-Busta did have a reunion special as well, but took place during the events of the series. But anyway, yes, that's all. And the next Power Rangers series to air will be, of course, Power Rangers Dino Fury, which is adapted from Kizuru Senda Ryusuja. And I think I'll talk more about the show in the video, but for Beast Morphers, that's it. And yes, and also, and I forgot to mention that the reason I was able to watch the second season of Beast Morphers, even though I live in the US, not UK, is because, well, I found episodes online, of course, somebody put them there, but you go and look for them if you like. If you don't want to wait long, if you want to if you already seen it. But anyway, that's my review for Beast Morphers season 2, and I'll see you next time. Bye.